What's going on, guys? JD at JD's Custom Buggies. Little update on our number 7 Carbide. So we've got shocks on, which is pretty cool. So this is, if you watch the past videos, this is a buggy that belongs to one of our MBX families, and they raced it as pretty much a stock Carbide last year. Really didn't put a whole lot into it. I believe they had a slide card kit and a CDI and coil combination. Pretty much after that, it was basically stock. So it's in here for an upgrade. And I believe this is video number 7, so there's 6 before this one. The last 6 months, for me personally and mentally, I've just been kind of off. It's been probably the toughest 6 months of my life. So I really haven't had a chance to just focus on a project in a while. Been doing everything I can just to keep up with customer stuff, you know, coming in and out of the shop. So I hopped back on this week because it is crunch time. I believe it is February 10th today, and by March 20th, this and there's quite a few other things that need to be done for myself, my wife, my niece, and a few other people to get ready for the race season. So it's crunch time. I figured I better hop on this thing, and the last 2 nights that I've spent on it, it's been dedicated to the front end. So we have our rack mounted. It's a little crooked right now because really it's just sitting on a perch. It's not bolted or anything. And that's not even the rack. That's a broken mock-up rack I use. So it's just kind of sitting in there. But we do have our rack mount, and we do have our shock mounts. Well, with some plates to the bottom arms, and then we put these shock hoops in there. And shock hoops can be difficult just because now, you know, you want everything to be as even as possible, even on a Chinese buggy. But you know, when you get into just like freehanding shock hoops or whatnot on a machine that wasn't really built straight to begin with, it gets a little tricky. But this one actually came out pretty good. Fortunately, I had a friend in town, kind of gave me a hand, extra set of eyes and hands, which doing this stuff like this from side to side can be tricky when you're by yourself, and sometimes I'm not the most patient fellow, so it does help sometimes to have an extra hand, to an extra set of eyes to compare with. So, but it came out fairly straight, and there's really not much to tell. We do have some Yamaha Blaster front shocks on there. They seem to fit the best, and I like the Yamaha Blaster shocks for buggy application. They actually work out really well. On my niece's Trailmaster XRS, I actually have Blaster shocks front and rear, all 4 corners, and it's probably one of the best driving strut buggies I've ever been in. Had to do a little modification to that to make it work, but we got it straight. The hood, we got the paint off of it. It's been smoothed out and primered. My father-in-law does a lot of my, pretty much does most of the finishing work here. He's not too pleased, but he wanted to get some primer on it for now. He does not live in town, so he comes and goes and hits it as I need him. So I do like the primer gray as a color, but that's not the color it's going to be. So that being said, like I said, this is basically show and tell. There's really not too much to explain right now at this point. I'll get a little more detailed once I get tie rods and the tie rod tabs on the spindles and we get a turning machine. I'm hoping to spend some time on this, and by the weekend have some major progress going on. So, but I really like the way it's turning out. It's one of these projects that's actually not causing me a whole bunch of grief. It's kind of flowing together nicely, and it's come together. Actually, this buggy has been one of the few buggies that's just come together pretty organically, and you know, I don't feel like I'm forcing this, except for the time frame. Really not forcing it. I'm actually enjoying this build a lot. There's been some builds that I pulled my hair out on, and some builds I have enjoyed, but yeah, this seems to be right now. It seems to be pleasurable. The motor is out. The motor's on the bench. I would say that's about 90% done. There's some details. I still have to build an exhaust for it. And the other thing I can show you progress-wise is we did get the swing arm. You know, when we took the motor out, we did get the swing arm. And this is like the making of a modification. And that's just to clear some room for the velocity stack and everything. It tends to be pretty tight on these swing arms with the dog bones on it. So that's not quite finished. I still have to finish it off and weld it up. But it's there. And it should be plenty strong. I have it gusseted pretty well. So that being said, till the next video, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the subscribe button if you would. And hopefully this will be the beginning of more videos coming in on a more rapid pace. So especially the melee that it's going to be from now until probably the 3rd week of March. I'll try and get some recording in and keep posting them up if you guys are interested. But I appreciate it. If you need any parts, you can go to the website. JD's Custom Buggies website is gotbuggies.com. And if you haven't and you're just browsing and you want to sign up for the newsletter, you will get a coupon code emailed to you for 10% off. So you can always do that. Alright guys, you guys have a good night. I'm going to call it quits for the night. And till next time. See ya.